Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Sermondo Talks. My name is Christina and I'm here to introduce you to some of the smartest Amazon experts from all around the world. If you've already subscribed to our channel, good job. If you're new to our channel and you'd like to get some industry insights, here's some interesting stories about entrepreneurship, and learn some useful hacks that you can apply to your own Amazon business, make sure you subscribe to our channel now and hit that notification bell so you will never miss another episode again. I have a very special guest for you today. It's Omer Riaz, founder and CEO at Urtasker, an e-commerce full-service agency based in the US. We talk a little bit about his business, his own entrepreneurial journey, and what Amazon sellers need to consider when they want to outsource and delegate some of their tasks. I would say, without further ado, let's start this interview. Hi everyone, I'm here today with Omer Riaz. He's the founder and CEO of Urtasker, an e-commerce full-service agency based in the US. Hi Omar, glad to have you on.
Hi, Christina. How are you today?
Fine, and you? Everything all right
Yeah,
over
good.
there?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
In one sentence, what is Urtasker?
In one sentence, your tasker is e-commerce account management and marketing agency.
And what kind of services do you offer exactly?
Our primary focus is on Amazon when it comes to listing optimization, PPC management, customer service. However, we also focus on eBay, Shopify, and Walmart.
Okay, so sellers that sell on multiple marketplaces can get everything from one hand when they work with you.
Yes.
And how long have you been in business already?
We started 5 years ago in 2015 when me and my other partners started selling on Amazon. And we came from IT background, and I have worked at big four IT consulting firms for about 10 to 11 years. So when we started selling on Amazon, we found that there is nothing for e-commerce business owner or small businesses. So we created a team of 3 people for ourselves, and it worked so well that after 6 months to 1 year, we kind of start helping our friends and family, and that's how we started Urtasker.
That would have been my next question, actually, if you have any experience with e-commerce or Amazon, but you already answered that. Are you still actively selling, or are those times over now?
That time is over. That after like 1 year, we're pretty much done with that. I keep an update on what is going on in market, but we don't sell anymore.
Which kind of products did you sell?
Oh, all kind of funny products. Like I did women apparel. We did costumes. My first private label product was silicone baking kit, something like that. Okay, so yeah, we did a
But
lot of
that's
things.
good.
And
That's very
yes,
good. So you have experience in different categories.
yes.
Can you give me a ballpark number of how many clients you have previously worked with? Just roundabout.
If you ask me overall, we have served more than 500. I would say between 500 to 750. That's like because we did a smaller project as well, five, like in 5 years. So if you could ask me, about 750 clients we have served.
This is an impressive number. Can you tell me how many employees you have to handle that amount of clients?
Sure. When we initially started, I told you that we had only 3 people.
Yeah.
So we have grown tremendously in the last 5 years. Now I have about a team of about 200 people. Uh, we have 4 offices, main headquarter in Long Island, New York. That's where I'm right now. And I have 3 offices in Pakistan. And those are physical offices. Unfortunately, today, I mean, these days, everybody's working virtually, but when we work in our offices, we have these beautiful conference rooms, beautiful offices where you get a feel that you're working with establish outsourcing company.
Yeah, I guess everyone has to work from home now, except you, obviously. But I think you're the only one in your office, right? Right now.
Yes, I have a couple of things today, so that's why I have to. My office is just 5 minutes away from my home, so that
All
is
right.
okay.
Can you tell me a little bit about how the process of working with you looks like? So let's assume I'm an Amazon seller. My listings are only doing mediocre. I'm not really good with PPC. So I come to you for help. Do I get an initial assessment? Does it cost anything? How does that look like?
Yeah, most of the time when people reach out to us, like, and we have learned from our experience in last 5 years, like people will used to reach out to us and say that, oh, I need your help, and we used to start right away. But we have learned through that process that everything should follow a process. Now, whenever someone reach out to us, we do a free account analysis. We also call this brand analysis if you're selling on multiple platforms. So we do a deep dive analysis on Amazon account, if they are selling on eBay, Shopify, Walmart. If if they have any website, we also kind of look at that, and uh, we have team of 4 to 5 people who basically depending on the account. If you're small seller, probably maybe 1 or 2 people will involve and build this analysis, okay, and we present this in front of the client. So it serves two purposes basically. One, it tells people, clients, that what we know about e-commerce, what we know about Amazon, and on the other hand, it tells us like whether do you really need us, or it's probably some quick fix which you need to do, and where you are on your business level. Are you ready to outsource? So that kind of help us to scope work.
And if I had a perfect listing and I would come to you and you would obviously see that my listing is perfect, would you honestly tell me like, hey, this looks super fine, you don't really need us?
Definitely, I will tell you, because if we kind of tend to work with our clients on a longer term, so maybe you don't need help with the listing optimization. Maybe you need help with some other area. So we complement our clients. Like if they have done good work on listing optimization, we tell them you did a good job. If their inventory management is great, we tell them this you are doing great on that. But obviously there are things to work on which we highlight. But if there are good things, we always compliment.
And let's imagine I have a perfect listing, but my images don't look good, for example. Would you then outsource that product photography service to a studio, or do you have employees in-house that are product photographers, graphic designers?
Yes, that's a good question, because right now I'm considering to have photographer in-house. Okay, because what is happening is I'm working with some of the bigger clients, 7 to 8 figure client, and they basically want to outsource everything, like when it comes to images and all other stuff as well. I have contacts with some of the photographers in US, who are basically, we send the products and they take pictures uh, based on whatever we suggest and which angle should be. But so far we don't have any in-house, but maybe next year we talk and we have someone. So yes, we kind of provide a guide. Like, let's say if you have, your images are not good, and you're gonna say that, okay, this is what we need. We need like these angles, and that can be easily, any photographer can easily follow that direction. And once we get those raw images, we could work, maybe creating, editing those or creating infographics. So we can do that.
All right, that sounds good. And how does the communication look like? A lot of users that come to our platform that had a bad experience with an agency often told me I didn't have one person of contact. There were like 5 different people I had to turn to, and I never knew who was available, who was not. So I had to wait for weeks for a response. So how is that at Urtasker? Do I get like my own project manager who I can turn to anytime, or are there several ones?
That's a great question as well. Uh, so basically, based on my IT experience, like when I work in 10 to 11 years, and I have seen that that is a major problem when it comes to outsourcing. I was working team in Philippines and India, great people, but when it comes to project management, there were issues. So when we started Urtasker, I made sure that we kind of cover that. So right now, based on the scope of the work, there is a basic resource we call it e-commerce specialist, expert, or assistant based on the skill set. So there are three different levels: assistant, specialist, and expert. So you choose the package what you want and based on your business needs. On top of that, we have a quality assurance manager. Okay, that quality assurance manager is kind of oversee the work of that assistant or a specialist or an expert, and we don't charge for that. So we have quality assurance manager on top of maybe like 8 to 10 guys. So this person is responsible for all those clients. And when it comes to communication, I can tell you that we don't take more than 24 hours because we work around the clock. We have basically right now we have two shifts. Shift basically covers US, and shift B covers Europe and all other areas. So those shifts are basically allocated based on the time zone. So right now my guys are online and they're working. So any client in US can reach out to them. When it comes to UK and European marketplace, there is a separate shift. We basically, you know, kind of work on those hours. Your resource will work on those hours. So, you could communicate daily and you could, have this interaction every day. So that kind of, you know, uh, help a lot uh, our clients, when it comes to communication.
Speaking of different time zones and different marketplaces, did I hear that right, that you do not only serve clients that sell on Amazon.com, but also in other marketplaces?
Yes. So when it comes to other marketplaces, France, Germany, you name it, all other marketplaces, we work on those marketplaces as well. Because initially when we started from US, and a lot of our clients, they kind of expanded to those marketplaces. So we kind of providing services to those marketplaces. Anyhow, like some of our initial clients were from European markets as well. So that kind of, when we started, we kind of started two shifts rather than having one shift. So we kind of used to working in like European marketplace as well as US marketplace.
Awesome. And besides serving different marketplaces and obviously great communication, why should I choose you over other agencies?
Yes, very first thing you need to choose is our account analysis, our brand analysis, which we do. We kind of separate us from all other people. We kind of put value right in front, even like before starting anything. So you have this brand analysis. And I honestly, whenever I talk to someone or our client executives in US, whenever they talk to any of our clients, and they say that just have this brand analysis, and it's no obligation, it's free. You could get a lot of information. If you want to use it, use it. If you don't hire up, still you can use that. So that kind of separate, right from the beginning, like, we are putting a lot of value when people try to do stuff like, initially they try to charge and all other stuff. We separate ourselves right from the beginning. The second is uh, the level of communication and different levels which we have built in our company, that you get a quality assurance managers on top of your resource, whoever is working. Thirdly, we get monthly feedback. Okay, the way our practice is built, that every resource get salary plus bonus from us, not from you. So whenever the feedback is submitted every month, okay, and we encourage our clients to submit feedback. It's very important for their consultant or resource, whoever is working with them. So if the consultant or resource get a positive feedback, they get bonus on top of that. So their attention is always to make our client happy with their services. So these are the number of process. And I think we work as a full agency. We have our own training and development department. So for example, if we send you a feedback request at the month end and you say that, oh, my resource or specialist is, missing on these things like PPC or something like that, we take this very constructive as a very constructive feedback, and we have a dedicated training and development department where this resource will get training. Okay, and we will make sure that we get a feedback that how this resource is doing like after this training and development. And we have our own hiring, HR, all those. It's basically full agency, so we have all these departments there, including our IT department. So it's a full agency, and that is based on the practice which me and my other partner, we have worked at big four IT consulting firms. We kind of taking those same practices and implement it e-commerce. So that kind of separate us from all other companies who are doing similar business.
I think it's great that you take the feedback and analyze it, and then if needed, invest in your own people instead than just say, oh, they didn't do a good job this month, so we will fire them. But instead take the feedback of the client, take it to them. They can improve, the client will be happy, your employees will be even better than before. That's very good. But do you also think that there's an area where you could improve, where you're not perfect yet?
There are always areas of improvement. I still think that communication can be improved. A lot of people are. I have worked at a consulting, big four IT consulting firms, but none of my workforce have worked on that. So kind of teaching them how to work with e-commerce client, things like that. We constantly improving ourselves, and there are different challenges at different times. Like one of the challenges right now is basically how to work with sellers where there is a panic in the market. How to start your day. Things are like there is a continuous thing, and that is the thing about e-commerce. Whenever I talk about outsourcing in e-commerce is totally different. It's not a normal outsourcing where you take a one business process and you outsource and you kind of sleep on it. No, you are constantly improving that. You need to, whoever is working on your account need to know what is going on in market. What is, like, for example, like right now when I talk to my resources, I ask them like, do you know, like, the client who you work with, what is going on in their neighborhood? Did you check the news? Like, that's how your communication should start. So communication is one of the things which we are constantly working to improve. So that is one of the area which I would say that every agency, every business has to go through.
I really like the answer. Usually I'm used to talking to agencies, obviously not all of them, but a lot of them who just say like, yeah, we're the best ones out there. Like we provide the best services. We help businesses grow, like those standard answers. But yeah, I share your opinion. There are always areas where you can improve, even though you feel like you're already doing a pretty good job. Another question of mine would be, do you have any ideal clients? Do you work with big brands, but also smaller clients? And do you sometimes also say no to clients? And if yes, why?
Yes. Ideal client. I would say we have number of clients who are my ideal because the way, yes, one of the things which I like in my clients is basically if they are ready to adopt new things, when it comes to technology, when it comes to processes. And like, for example, I told you like all the processes which I have built, and I came up with those processes because of my background and my partner's background. We came up with those processes, and those processes work. I like those clients who take these processes, okay, and build their business. Okay, I love those clients, because and if they have something different on top of that they want to build, I can help them, and I can, but if someone comes and they are not ready to delegate, our main motto is that, delegate, focus, and grow. Okay, that's what is your tasker about. If they are not ready to delegate, if and I tell them, like, you're taking this business as a hobby, it's not business. In business, you need to have, even though it's e-commerce, still you need to build this workforce, whether in-house or outsource, and you need to connect with them and kind of build those processes, and I can help you those processes. So the client which don't comply with that, that those are the tough ones, and it's kind of no for them if they are not ready to. And this people who are, like, make decisions maybe 1 or 2 weeks or 3 weeks data, I I kind of say that, it's a long-term process. So it's kind of like, look at what is going on right now, and you can't just make decision based on this time period. You need to look at the bigger picture. Like,
Yeah.
e-commerce is future. Right now, everybody who is in e-commerce, they are so blessed. Like, yeah, they are sitting at home and working, and you need to take as very positive thing that, you took this initiative, you created this business, now you're taking the benefit when there is a massive layoff going on around the world. So that's a very positive. Now, how you look in the future, like, e-commerce is there, and it's going to grow tremendously. How you take that opportunity and work. So I always tell that, my ideal clients are the clients who work on their business, not in their business. So
I think that a lot of Amazon sellers have a problem delegating certain tasks because they lack trust. Like, because they always think they know their brand the best, they know how to do this, they know how to do that, and they don't trust any agencies or freelancers to perform the same way or even better. And another problem is that, especially when you work with someone from another country, so if I want to work with you now, I'm in Germany, you're in the US, how do we establish that bond of trust? And what I'm interested in is, do you set up service contracts where you like legally bind it to perform the task you agreed on?
definitely. So legal agreement is the very first step which we do with our clients. And we also sign non-disclosure agreement, which is very important because everybody is, they build this brand, their business, and that, everybody have a right to own their business and protect their business. So we do that for all of our clients, just
That's a
to
great
build that.
sign. Great sign of professionalism. I always recommend that to our audience anyway. Before entering any kind of business relationship, make sure you get a written agreement. Ask how the company you're working with handles sensible company data, and check if they want to sign an NDA. And your Urtasker obviously does, so that's a good sign. All right. How does your reporting system look like? You told me that you get feedback from clients, but which kind of feedback do the clients get from you? Are there like weekly calls, monthly calls, emails? How does it look like?
Sure. So I talk about one of the issue which I said, communication is one of the issues, and you accept it or no, but I think that's the issue with all the people out there, whether they are smaller agencies or bigger agencies. So when we start very first, like, account analysis or brand analysis, right after that, when there is a pre-onboarding meeting between us and our team, and then we do a onboarding meeting with our client where we kind of, put this emphasis on that, you need to communicate, you need to communicate with your resource on daily, weekly, monthly basis. Like, you need to have this framework, and we get all those communication channels. Like, we right from the beginning that, okay, what are your communication channels? Like, how you going to communicate? Skype, phone, uh, you know, Slack. Like, there are plenty of tools out there where you are comfortable. Okay. And we get all those. Okay. And what is the preferred time for you to have a weekly meeting with your quality assurance manager? Okay. We book those meetings on our calendar. Okay. We have a dedicated client service representative in US. Okay. If the client does not hear from their resource, their quality assurance manager, they can directly reach out to our CSR, and we can create an issue just to see, like, what is going on. And that's a very rare scenario, but we have it as a process.
All right. I have two more questions about your Urtasker that should be very interesting to our listeners. First of all, you mentioned that there are 3 packages, like assistant, specialist, and expert, if I'm not mistaken. So how does your pricing look like? Do I book one of those levels and then pay monthly, or do you charge per hour? How does your whole pricing model looks like?
So our packages are basically based on the resources. We have a smaller packages. So we have packages for someone who is starting up, and like 6 to 7 figure brand as well. So there are different packages, and the best part is that we are able to customize those packages based on your needs. It's
Awesome.
not like, oh, you have to pay this and you have, no, it's not that. It's basically your business. Like, when we do an account analysis and we check your listings, and we kind of look at that, we scope out, this is what exactly, this is what we think that it's gonna take for us to monitor or work on this account or optimize. And if you have any other tasks, you can include that, and we could create the scope of the work. So it's based on that. And yeah, so we are able to customize based on whatever your needs are.
So I could say like the assistant package would be perfect for me, but I also need 2 or 3 more extra things, but I don't need the next level package, just like 1 or 2 things. So I can just reach out and say, hey, can we meet somewhere in the middle regarding the price?
Sure. Those packages are based on the skill set. For example, like if you reach out to me and you say that you need help with the PPC. So obviously the assistant level, who is less experienced, and less experience, I would say like at least 1 to 2 years of experience in e-commerce working with us. I wouldn't say that that person is ideal for managing PPC. That person might be good for monitoring and maybe some part of listing optimization and kind of a daily tasks, you know. But when it comes to PPC, you might have to, get someone who is at expert level, So they kind of look at your PPC. So it's based on what exactly you're looking for, and we kind of, provide you. If someone is starting up, they don't need to hire someone like, at the top. They probably need some help with maybe assistant level who can help them, so they can, stay in their budget, and they can hire that person. It's basically based on where you are. That's what I said. We can customize, we would not say that, okay, you're starting up and you need an expert. You don't need expert. You probably have 1 listing or 2 listing where someone from assistant level can kind of look at that. And on top of that, remember, like, I told you quality assurance managers. So that quality assurance manager is above expert level. So you are also getting help from that resource, which is free. So, it's a combination of that.
That sounds like a great model, but what happens if, I don't know why, whatever happens, I'm still not happy with the work, despite of having a quality assurance manager and maybe the best people ever working on my project. I'm just like, I want to see results within 2 weeks, which is obviously super unrealistic, but we all know that there are sellers out there who think like they hire an agency and see a 200% growth in the first 2 weeks. So when I get upset and think, okay, I'm not growing fast enough, do I get my money back, or how do you deal with unhappy clients?
When it comes to unhappy clients, I mean, obviously, when we talk to all of our clients, we make sure that expectation are clear, across the board.
That's important.
You're not getting results in 2 weeks. If you're working on PPC or listing optimization, maybe we are able to optimize your listing in maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. But in order to see their impact, it takes some time. Okay. If you're still unhappy with that, we can refund you, no issues. Because it's all about building that relationship. If that relationship is not working for you, I don't want to go after like few months and say that it's not working for us, for both of us. So I would basically, if you're not happy and if you still think that you need results in 2 weeks, which is unrealistic in e-commerce, but I would be able to do that. Because here, look at this way, we are in the business for 5 years. Okay, we are not in a small game. I would say that short run. We are in the long run.
Yeah.
So I still want to have a good relationship. If you are not happy, I just want to make sure that whatever our commitment is, we can refund you, no issues.
That's also a smart move, because if they go to another agency who claims they can do that in 2 weeks and they lose all their money and don't see results, they will come back to you because you've been honest and gave them a refund.
Yes.
All right. Then I want to know a little more about you personally. You said that you have 2 founding partners. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
did you guys decide to start Urtasker? Did you get tired of selling silicone baking supplies?
I told you that my other, so basically we're 3 brothers, okay? 3 partners.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
all family business.
Yeah. Yes, all family. My other partner, my younger brother, he was kind of, he's the one who started selling on Amazon. And he's the one who takes a lot of initiatives and a lot of other stuff. And the youngest one is in Pakistan. He came with the cyber crime. He's a cybercrime lawyer, and
Wow.
with a degree in IT and all other stuff. So me and my other partner who are in US, we came from IT background. We have worked for Accenture and Deloitte, which are largest big 4 consulting firms. So I told you that when we started selling on Amazon, we felt a big gap. Like when it comes to outsourcing, we didn't see much. Like when it comes to hiring freelancers, either they are very expensive, and sometimes you don't feel comfortable working with them. And skill set was another issue. Like if you have to in e-commerce, I would say that if you hire someone, it's ideal if you find someone who knows what they are doing, because that makes your job much easier rather than training someone. And because if you train someone, it takes a lot of time, and then those people, you're not sure whether they can keep an update. Like I know for my guys, like 100 guys work on one floor, and all they discuss is about Amazon, what is going on, what are the latest trends, so things like that. So that was basically our philosophy, that when we started Urtasker, that we could have a reliable e-commerce consulting partner. I now called it a consulting partner, because we have moved to, like when we started 1 year, like very first years, the comments which I got from our clients is that, oh, these guys are not just, we tell them something to do and they just do it. They basically bring something extra. They basically, tell us, like advise us on that stuff. And that kind of, set up a tune for Urtasker to become a leading e-commerce, e-commerce management and marketing agency, that kind of setup tune. And we do the same thing for our clients as well. I tell my clients that challenge your resource, tell them, okay, this is what you want to do, and they need to bring a plan of action for you. So that is our motto, to help people, to help especially small business owners. I can tell you, like when I started, I used to go, me and my other partner used to go to people warehouses, okay, and see that how they are struggling. Like they were not aware of the technology and how they can outsource in e-commerce. They were not aware of that. That kind of inspired us that if we can build our team, if we can help these guys, and they can have a workforce who can work virtually on their accounts, and they can grow, help them grow their business. So that kind of inspiration for us, that helping small business owners, and obviously those big brands as well.
And how does your typical day now look like?
I kind of oversee marketing and finance of Urtasker. So I am talking to my marketing team, digital marketing team, because what we did is last year we have included our digital marketing team. We have in-house digital marketing team. So I kind of work with them. So because a lot of people who work with us, they kind of demanded that we want to have like a website developers. We want to have Facebook ad managers, So I'm kind of building that team as well. So my typical day is working with marketing, finance, talking to, I have something which I have outsourced as well. So I kind of talking to those outsourcing partners as well. So that's how my days goes. And obviously there are like at least three daily status call meetings with my teams. One is with like all the quality assurance managers to see like every project, how, especially in these days, we have a daily status call meeting just to discuss every client whom we work with. Okay. And that
Wow.
takes like 2 hours at least.
Yeah.
And, what is going on? What are their sales? How we can help them? How we can take an extra mile. So that takes like some part of my time, but usually that status call is like weekly, but now we're doing it daily. So that is my daily, but I do get time, because what I do is I try to learn something, try something, and then kind of delegate to my team. So
So you live what you stand for at your task.
yeah, yeah.
You live by example. All right. I imagine that you have great organizational skills then. Are there any other skills or character traits that you wish you had, but you don't have?
Oh, yes. I wish I would have been intelligent, but I'm not. I'm just hardworking guy.
Oh no, that's not true. I don't think so.
Just kidding.
So any other thing? Maybe are you an impatient person or?
Uh, I mean, I'm not good with so much. I mean, even I have worked at IT for like 10, 11 years, building processes for Fortune 500 companies. But when it comes to typical IT stuff, my other partners are good. So I'm not good in that. So, everybody has some weaknesses and some strong points. So if you have a good partner, my partners are great, and even like my shift managers, quality assurance managers, I know like what they are good at. And as a
So it
team, you need to
balances it
know.
out.
Yes, as a team, you need to know like who is good at what. So I can now like on my fingertip, I know that who I need to reach out, because it's such a big team, and I can reach out to anyone in my team and kind of get their help. It's the same thing apply to everybody, everyone's business. Nobody's perfect at everything.
Yeah, that's true. And if you could have a superpower, something that's super unrealistic, something like flying or teletransportation, what would it be?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. When I was growing growing up, and we were discussing this before, that you don't like those stories when people say that they were growing up, but okay, let me mention this. Okay. When I was growing up, I want to build a car okay,
Hmm.
which can which can which can fly, and it can become a boat, okay, and it's a normal car as well. But the way I'm looking right now at the technology, you never know. Or maybe, you know, we can have that in future. So ideally, I would have that car. Okay.
So, Elon Musk, if you're watching or listening to us, please do Omar a favor and start working on it. All right.
Yeah.
And something else that's unrealistic. If you could meet Jeff Bezos in person and ask him for one thing that Amazon could do better for its sellers and brands, what would it be?
Oh, one thing. I would say a lot of things. I think there should be a platform for Amazon sellers who can interact directly with Amazon management. I
Yeah.
think, you see these groups out there. You see these incredible people. They are doing a lot of stuff. Like, I have a Facebook Live with Danny McLean today. Okay, and we're talking about outsourcing. Okay, uh, but there are like incredible people out there, and if there is a if there is a team or something like where their voices can be heard, okay, because I know that Amazon take care of customers, but I believe that sellers have rights as well. So
Yeah, they
uh,
should
i
have
would
at
I
least.
would talk about I would talk to him that if he can build something for to helping sellers directly. There's a workforce or team out there.
Yeah. I also think that's one of the biggest issues right now. All right, then it hurts very much, but I'm already at my last question. I really enjoyed talking to you. We should do this again.
Yeah.
And today I will do something special because my last question is always if you had 1 minute, the attention of every Amazon seller out there, which three advices or one big advice would you give to them? And usually my interview partners talk for more than 5 minutes when I said it. So today I will stop the time. You have 60 seconds to give like your biggest tip or your three biggest tips to everyone selling on Amazon out there starting now.
I would say that delegate, focus, and grow.
That's
That's it.
it?
That's it.
All right, good. That's 7 seconds. We have a new champion. I love it. Okay, great. Then, Omar, thank you so much for being on and giving such valuable insights, explaining us how your task works. And yeah, maybe some of our listeners and viewers will now consider working with you, which I really hope because I have to be impartial, right? But I heard a lot of good stuff about your task. I can say that as a private person, not as a Sermondo person. So yeah, it was a pleasure having you on. I hope you stay safe out there. And yeah, I hope we can do this again.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much for having me. And it was a pleasure talking to you. I love your questions, especially the last ones. I enjoyed it.
All right, guys, that's it for today. That was my interview with Omar. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions for him or for me, simply drop your comment below. We will answer each and every single one. And yeah, I also included some helpful links in the description box where you can find out more about Urtasker and Sermondo.com. I also included the link to our podcast in case you're tired of seeing my face all the time. You can also listen to our interviews on the go. And now I want to know from you guys, do you have any experience in outsourcing and delegating some of your e-commerce tasks? If yes, how was your experience? Do you think it makes sense for even smaller brands to do it? Yeah, let us know and drop your comment below. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you can do this now by either clicking the red subscribe button or pushing the Sermondo globe somewhere above my head, next to my head, somewhere here. Yeah, exactly. And if you do so, I will see you guys next time. I look forward to it. Take care. Bye bye.